Good morning, everybody. Kathleen here from Claremorris in beautiful Mayo in Ireland, and I'm here to report on what what I'm finding life is like for someone who was raised in the U.S. And I'll be here a total of about 16 weeks, and I'm coming up onto the end of that time period. I'll be back again next year for sure. But I did want to get a few more videos in because the time is so short. So it's only been a couple of days since my last video, but I figure I owe it to you guys because I combined a couple of them. So today I was going to go over, and if you can, please like my video and please subscribe. Subscribe doesn't mean anything other than you're going to get notifications when I post new videos. So shouldn't affect you in any way, but it helps me. So please consider doing that. So I wanted to give you a couple of examples of how if you set up connections before you leave wherever you're coming, whatever country you're coming from, and head to Ireland, it'll help with your stay here in Ireland. I'll give you those connections. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is a street festival that I went to 2 days ago on Monday, and it's called Shimastrata, and bear with me if I'm butchering that name, but it's there's lots of these little festivals on in the summer, and this one is focused mostly on arts and just general things that would help, would be attractive to your family, also historic stuff. And it was in Swinford, which is a townland in Mayo. And the reason I went was because the Mayo genealogy group, which I've spoken about before, was going to be doing a presentation there. So I wanted to show my support for that. Now, the Mayo group is something that before I came here, this is one of the examples that I set up before I came. They're online, a Facebook group. They're great help, great help to people in finding information if they're trying to find their family trees, or lost relatives, or just information about Mayo. It's mostly based on family trees, but they will give advice sometimes on other things if you're coming for a visit. So consider joining that group and using the resources in it, and it's all done free by the members of the group. I mean, they spend their time and their effort, and they do all this just out of the fact that they love doing research, but they also want to help other people. So I don't think people who join realize that the services they're being offered is out of the pocket of these people. So you should be appreciative of anything that they provide. And so I had joined that group before I left, just asked a few questions about my family. And so I knew that they met here in person. They also have a Zoom meeting that they do online, so you can be part of that. But if you wanted to meet them in person, I knew they had monthly meetings at the in Turlough at the Museum of Country Life, and Turlough's in Mayo. So I knew I could go to those meetings. And then in addition to that, they also have little events that they'll do for their members and anybody like me who's in from another country. I've gone on great road trips with them, and the event they were going to be offering on Monday was about tracing family trees, and I've been to other events that they've done like that in other places, and sometimes they'll even offer free DNA kits, which is really great. So again, because I had that connection, first of all, I've made really good personal friends with several of the members, and one of them offered me a ride to the event, which I'm not saying that you'll get that offer from everybody, and it'll depend on their schedule if they're available or not. But this one person did offer to give me a ride, which was really, really sweet of her. And so I had that, and then when I arrived, we got out of the car and we went over to stand where they were going to be doing this historic walk. That was the first event I was going to that day, and different people from the group started to arrive in their cars, and they'd get out, and I knew several of them, so you get the hugs and the how you doing, and how's your trip going. And I'd also extend the people that I knew, because they say, oh, Kathleen, meet this person or meet that person. So my sphere of friends was increasing just by the moment. So that was a really good thing. And I went to a historic walk tour, which was over 2 hours, and that was fantastic, just all about Swinford. And it actually helped me in doing my family tree, because I had heard last year that there was a Frayne family who lived in that area who had a store in Swinford. And so when there was a moment of quiet, where the speakers weren't giving information out, people were walking to the next spot, I asked one of the women, if they knew anything about it, and she referred me to someone. And it turned out that he knows a lot about my family tree and is willing to share that information. And so I'm going to explore that and see where it leads. I'm not sure if it's my family tree, but he thinks pretty sure it is my family tree. And then in the afternoon, there was an event where one of the members was doing a little presentation on his own family tree, and gave information all about his family and who was in his tree and all that. And I went to just support him in that. And then he had another member who was presenting how much the Mayo group had helped him in achieving, in exploring his family tree. And that was really good. It was good to see someone young, and he actually had a little song that he created and played that as part of the event, which was really, really sweet. And then the main event that I had gone to was the one that the Mayo Genealogy Group was presenting, which was on tracing your family roots. So I went to that, and it was always, it's just always great. You learn something new every time you go. So I had that going on, and then that night, a second way that reaching out to someone or some group before coming helped was in my father's townland, there's a little thatched cottage and a heritage center. It's called the Kilmavie Heritage Center, and every month they put on a little music event where local musicians will come in, all ages, all instruments, everything, and they will come there, and it's free, and you get a mid-break where they provide sandwiches and tea, so you're fed and you get to listen to great music. And throughout it, the MC will call on people. They'll say things like, oh, Patty Joe, tell us about such and such, and you'll hear these old stories, and you'll hear poetry that people's done, and the music. And this time they had two great dancers, which, I saw a lot of dancing that night, but these ones in particular were really fast on their feet. One was a young girl, one was someone more my age, and amazing women, and really, really fast feet. And the really cool thing is the fact that I know that the people that go there are most likely relatives of mine, because Kilmavie is a small area. There was a lot of intermarrying, not necessarily first cousins, but like maybe third cousins. And so chances are, years ago this was, not now, but chances are that there might be DNA shared with most of the people in that group. And it's just really nice to see something like that. That's another family event where it's going on and it's going to continue to go on. And this way, younger people get to hear the stories and also participate in the music, because there's young musicians there as well as old. So that again was another thing that I knew about and made an effort to attend because I knew about when they were going to meet. You can reach out to wherever you're excuse me, wherever you're staying. And I mean, here in Claremorris, I made an effort. I haven't done it this year, but I've stopped by the different offices, and now I know what groups are available. So if when I come next year, I can go to those events. Like they have a weekly event here for people over 60, or maybe it's over 50. Older, not quite old, but a little bit older adults, and just to get together, and they meet on Fridays. And I'm going to make an effort to do that and attend that and hopefully meet more people. They also have in the local hotel, they have this country music dancing, which I think I've said before, it's not necessarily my cup of tea, but it's a way to be social. You can go and there's a lot of people there. There's a way for me to meet people and just develop my friendships. You can even go to like the local library. They'll have little posts up on groups that meet. Like I saw one that was a book club that was meeting. So next year when I first come, I'm going to explore that and know that I'll have the time to go every couple weeks to meet those people and get to know them. Excuse me, the third way that I met someone was the fact that I was doing a family tree. And maybe family trees aren't your cup of tea, but, you know, truth is, if you're coming to Ireland, it's probably because you're exploring your roots and you have some connection to it. So they might be your cup of tea. So it may be your cup of tea. In doing that, before I came, that was a third way that I set up a connection. I had email conversations with a gentleman who was a distant relative of mine, and I don't know who contacted who first, but we had a couple of emails that went back and forth, and he knew that I was coming to Ireland. This is way back in like 2015 when I first came, and he made sure that I got to meet him and his parents. We stopped by a local cemetery where all of our relatives were, and I got to make that connection. And over the years that I've been coming, I've met him on occasion. He doesn't live in the area that I'm in, so it's sometimes hard to do that. But what happened was he expanded my sphere of friends and the sphere of relatives, because I've gotten quite close to an uncle of his. And every time I come, he makes the point of coming to see me. And so he met me at the Kilmavie Heritage Center for that night of music. And he expanded my horizons again because he told me about someone that was there and how they were connected. And so I have someone else to add to my tree and someone else to have that genetic match to. And it doesn't have to be a genetic match. I mean, you could just be friends with people. But it's a way for you to feel like you're not alone here. You start to develop relationships. I also wanted to tell you that one of the things that I did on Monday evening was, before I went to the Kilmavie Center, I stopped at Erler Abbey, and I've been there a couple of different times. A very pretty place, and I would recommend visiting it. I'm going to do a different YouTube video on that, so be sure to watch for it. And let's see if I have anything else to tell you. I think I've covered everything. Oh, I did want to tell you that as part of the historic tour, they stopped at the Swinford Workhouse and talked about that. And I did a little explore, as my kids will tell you. I'm great for these little explorers where I'm dangerous in a car because I'll just go off on a road I don't know and see where it leads me. I'm a little crazy that way. So while the person was talking, I did know a bit of what she was saying, so I started walking around the building, just thought I'd get some pictures from the back, and I saw that there were signs that led to a famine plot, which you'll find near these workhouses because the people that went there, unfortunately their family didn't come to claim them oftentimes, and they just got buried nearby in usually unmarked graves, and there's usually hopefully still a place nearby that you can go and visit and respect them and have that spiritual connection. So this one, you know, things that happen to me in Ireland always have this little bit of spirit with them. I feel like I'm being led or directed. And I'll tell you, even though July, you can say, well, July's been a rainy month and it's been overcast, that day was okay. It really wasn't raining. I mean, there were thunderstorms out in the sky, but nothing really particular. But when I walked up to that area where they had set aside a little plot where the graves were, most likely were, the sky just had this huge black cloud, and I swear, I felt like it was just directing itself down to that spot. And, you know, there's those moments that maybe you'll have those too, where you have this feeling of there's something out there besides the present, and our ancestors are with us every moment. And, you know, you can discount them or you can welcome them into your life, and I choose to welcome them into my life. And, you know, so I hope you look for those signs, and I hope you set up those connections before you come, so you have a great time here and you really feel like you're coming home. And yesterday and today, I'm just homebound, so exploring my tree online. I had to spend the day yesterday here because my hot water is out. You still have those things that happen while you're here, and I had to wait for a serviceman. So I'll post another video in a couple of days. I'm going to Donegal on Thursday, and I'm really, really, really looking forward to that. I haven't been in that part of the country or that area, so really looking forward to it. And I hope you have a great day. I hope you found this informative for you, and thank you for tuning in, and take care. Have a good day, as I keep saying. All right, bye. Take care.